Hey guys, what is up? I wanted to talk about PvP Watchdog, what it is, how it works, whether you should think about installing it or not for yourself. This is obviously on PC. It is a mod for Dark Souls 3. The idea behind DS3 Watchdog is it helps you find cheaters. Now, it doesn't help you find all cheaters, and I think that's important to emphasize. It only helps you find a subset, but that subset is actually kind of an interesting subset, and it also gives you protection from some cheats. I think most notably, it is supposed to have protection against getting one shot with like a curse dagger. I haven't had the opportunity to test that yet. That's actually only happened to me, I think, 2 or 3 times total on PC, so it's not very common. But there's a lot of interesting things to think about and things that the tool can do for you, so let me show you. First, I'll give you some background here, and there's a few things to keep in mind. First of all, install at your own risk. Obviously, I'm not really vouching for the tool, even though I haven't had any problems recently. Though I need to emphasize there's a number of versions. I think 1.01, 02, 03, 04, and 1.05. 1.05 obviously being the most recent. Earlier versions, specifically 0.02 and 0.03, did result in bans for some folks. And I know there was a bit of a dust up over at Reddit where some of the tool creators were really condescending to a number of users, said that the tool couldn't possibly be responsible for anyone getting banned, but in fact it was. Got a number of people banned. I believe those problems have all been ironed out. I believe nobody's had any issues running 1.05, but of course that's right now. From could always change the way they look for these things. I think it's unlikely, but it is certainly a possibility and something to keep in mind. And unfortunately, because of the nature of the way the tool installs, it installs into your Dark Souls 3 installation. Even if you're running on an alt character, if you load your main character while the tool's installed, it too will be running DS3 Watchdog, so definitely something to keep in mind. So huge shout out to YouTuber Nyleen for helping me get this all set up and configured and giving me the confidence to install it. You can see in the top left, this is DS3 Watchdog sort of in normal mode. It's really unobtrusive. I don't even notice it unless I'm looking for it. You'll see the names of characters in white unless they're cheating, and then it pops in red. And you can see this is one of 2 cheaters I've run into. This is the type of cheating it excels at detecting. Misleading stats, so the user's reporting at 1 soul level, but in fact they're actually a higher soul level based on their stats. So they've increased their stats to give them an edge. I'm not really sure why, to be honest, because this player wasn't all that great. I don't know that this is really an edge that's worth having at the expense of cheating. And you can actually, in effect, black crystal out of a world like this. It's actually more immediate than that. There's hotkeys that you can use to kind of forcibly disconnect from the world of a cheater. And if you're the host, you can forcibly eject invaders from your world if they're cheating. I haven't had the opportunity to testing this out again. The good news is that the cheating's actually been relatively minimal. There hasn't been very many. I mean, I've used this tool over hundreds and hundreds of invasions, and so far I've only encountered 2 cheaters, and this is the first one right here. So here is the second instance. This was actually a co-op session with Epstude and another player by the name of Tomato. And you can see here, when all is well, the players just show up in white, and it doesn't reveal their stats, and I think that's important. The tool is not designed to give you an edge. It's simply designed to prevent cheating. And you'll see here in a moment he gets invaded, and I stop playing here because I'm on chat trying to type to my friend here and tell him, hey, you've been invaded by somebody who's actually soul level 802. Of course, he's not downscaled in any way. And if I were the host, I would have been able to kick this user out. And unfortunately, my buddy ends up getting one shot by this blatant cheater, which is really quite frustrating. So obviously you block them and you move on. So there's really not too much else to say about the tool. Here's the homepage, Nexus mods, where you can download it. I'll have a link to it in the description. Again, installation is really pretty trivial. You can see here, this is a list of the files that are within the package, some source control files that you don't really need to care about, and some readmes. There's really only 2 files that I think are of real consequence. The DLL file goes into your Dark Souls installation, and then the ini file, which is a configuration file. And the configuration file, it has some interesting choices here. Most of them are pretty superficial. I don't think most people will want to mess with the defaults very much, but you can take a look here and see the sorts of options that are available to you. I do notice that it has a check for updates, which I have enabled right now, and I believe that is only a check. I don't think it auto updates, but if anyone thinks differently, please do let me know. And regarding whether you should install it or not, that's always a very difficult thing. It's a personal decision. There is certainly risk with it. But I do like having the peace of mind of knowing whether I'm connected to a cheater or not, and then I can decide based on the information, do I want to engage this player, do I not, how do I want to behave, and I can see which player it is if there's multiple players in a world, and it makes it a little bit easier to track them down and flag them. The one thing though that I wish that it did that I don't think it does is it shows you their character name, not their Steam name. If it showed you their Steam name, that would make life much more easy, and to make sure that you're mapping the right character name to the right Steam profile when you actually go to ban somebody. And you can do similar things running Cheat Engine. You can run Cheat Engine, and I know that there's some scripts or tables that you can load that will also report players' stats. But frankly, I find this to be the easiest way to do it, and so far so good. Just to emphasize again, make sure you're running version 1.05. If you install this, you want to make sure you have version 1.05. Look at the files within the download. There should be some versioning information, and just be absolutely certain that you have the correct version. Well guys, if any of you decide to install this, let me know how it goes for you, and I hope this helped. Thanks.